Listen, success isn't about grand gestures. It's about the small decisions you make every single day. Maybe it's reading that extra chapter. Maybe it's making that difficult phone call. Maybe it's pushing through when you're tired. These daily choices shape your destiny. You're not weak. You're just wasted on the wrong battles. You're not breaking down because you're weak. You're breaking down because you're bleeding in places you were never meant to fight. That exhaustion you feel, it's not failure. It's the weight of being pulled in directions that don't serve you. You've been showing up to every battle like it's your war, fighting for attention, defending your name, proving your worth to people who made up their minds a long time ago. Let me tell you something. Your energy is sacred, but if you keep spending it on distractions, debates, and dead-end drama, don't be surprised when you feel empty. You're not burned out because you work too hard. You're burned out because you spent too much on things that never mattered. Stop blaming yourself for being tired. Start checking where your energy is leaking. You ever notice how some people just don't hear you? No matter how loud you speak, that's not an accident. That's a decision. They're not confused. They've just made up their mind to never see you clearly. And the more you try to explain, the more power you give away. So stop. Stop handing your clarity to people who profit from your confusion. They don't need more words. They need distance. And you need your peace back. You're not here to beg for understanding. You're here to build. And builders don't waste breath trying to get approval from the ones who only show up to doubt. You've tried. You've explained. You've laid your heart on the table. Now it's time to take your heart back and walk. Not everything deserves a response. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. And just because they knock on your door doesn't mean you have to let them in. Your energy is not a free buffet. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every time you give your fire to someone who only brings water, you lose a little piece of what makes you powerful. That slow burnout, that creeping numbness, that's what happens when you give too much to the wrong places. Start asking yourself, does this feed me or drain me? Does this grow me or slow me? If it costs you your peace, if it dims your spark, it's too expensive. Some things you walk away from not because you're weak, but because you finally know your worth. Being liked is optional. Staying lit is not. You weren't built to dim your light just to make others comfortable. You weren't born to blend in, you were born to blaze. Stop shrinking. Stop softening your voice just to keep the peace. That's not peace, that's quiet desperation. The kind that leaves you restless at night wondering why you're so tired in the life you chose. This isn't about approval. This is about alignment. You don't need more fans. You need more fuel. Fuel that keeps your fire alive. And that fire, it's not for decoration, it's for direction. So stop trading your flame for fitting in. You're not here to be light. You're here to light the way. Your energy is currency. Spend it like it's limited. Think of your energy like money. You don't have an endless supply. And every time you give it away through conversations, decisions, reactions, worries, you're making a withdrawal. Problem is, most people act like they've got an unlimited bank account. They say yes to everything. They argue with everyone. They overthink, over-explain, and overextend. Then they wonder why they feel bankrupt inside. Let's be clear. Your energy is expensive. Every moment you spend explaining your worth to someone who's already decided you don't have it, that's a cost. Every night you stay up replaying a conversation that doesn't matter anymore, that's another withdrawal. If your energy was money, you'd track it. You'd budget it. You'd stop giving discounts to people who don't value you. So start doing the same now. You can't afford to waste another ounce of power on things that don't build you. Budget your energy like it's all you've got, because it is. Stop paying attention to what's not paying you back. There's a difference between spending and investing. Spending is what you do when you give your energy with no return. Investing is when your energy comes back multiplied. But here's the truth. Most people don't know the difference. They chase approval, attention, arguments. They give hours to people who wouldn't give them minutes. They water dry soil and expect fruit. Let me ask you this. When's the last time you checked your emotional receipts? You're tracking your bills, but not your energy. That's a mistake. If someone, something, or some space constantly leaves you feeling drained, stressed, or small, you're not invested. You're being robbed. And here's the worst part. You're letting it happen. You keep paying attention to people who aren't paying you respect. You give time to noise that only steals your focus. Start treating your energy like a business. Ask, what's the return here? If it's zero, stop funding it. Close the tab. Walk away. You don't owe anyone your attention if they've shown you they can't handle your presence. You don't owe clarity to confusion or peace to chaos. Not every knock deserves an answer. Not every question deserves a response. You are not a public hotline for people's confusion. You are not a peace offering for their chaos. There are people who only show up to spin you around, who throw their mess at your feet and call it conversation. They're not looking for clarity. They're looking for control. They stir confusion to keep you distracted. They bring chaos because they're addicted to noise. And you keep showing up calm. You keep handing out answers. You keep giving your peace to people who only want your silence. It has to stop. You don't owe your calm to a storm. You don't owe your explanation to someone who's already decided not to listen. Your energy isn't customer service. It's purpose. Draw the line. Protect your mind. If they bring confusion, let them keep it. If they bring chaos, don't invite it in. You weren't made to carry what's not yours. Protect your peace like it's property. Because peace isn't a luxury. It's not a soft thing. It's a hard-won, high-value asset. And once you find it, your only job is to protect it like it's profit, because it is. Think of your peace like a business you built from the ground up. You had to fight for it, sacrifice for it. You had to cut off people, let go of patterns, and unlearn habits just to get it. So why give it away so easily now? Stop letting people walk into your world and rearrange your mind. Stop letting situations you can't control wreck your inner calm. Your peace is your power. It's where your focus lives. It's where your decisions are made. If someone threatens it, they're not harmless. They're expensive. And anything that costs you your peace is too high a price. Protect it. Guard it. Keep it clean. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every conversation is worth your voice. Your peace is not public property. It's a private vault. Start treating it that way. You're not meant to be seen by the blind. Here's the trap. You keep explaining your soul to people who don't even have the eyes to see it. You're pouring your heart into conversations with people who never came to understand. They came to shrink, dismiss, or distort. That's not connection. That's self-abandonment. You lower your voice to be more palatable. You dull your shine to be less intimidating. You bend your truth hoping they'll finally accept it, but they won't. And that's not your fault. It's their limitation. Stop trying to make your depth fit into their shallow world. Some people are blind to brilliance. They wouldn't recognize gold if it weighed down their hands. You're not supposed to be seen by everyone. You're not supposed to be understood by everyone. Some people were never meant to get it, and they never will. Your job is not to convince them. Your job is to stop shrieking for them. Let me ask you something straight. Are you moving by your vision, or waiting for their permission? Too many people live stuck between their calling and someone else's comfort. They want to build something real, but they're held back by imaginary approval slips from people who've never built anything. You weren't made to live on mute just to keep others comfortable. You weren't designed for agreement. You were built for impact, and impact makes noise. It challenges, it disrupts. It's not always right, but it's always needed. Whose voice are you listening to more, yours or theirs? That little whisper inside you that says go, build, rise, or the loud voices that echo fear, shame, and doubt? Let me tell you something, you don't need permission to walk in your purpose. You don't need a green light from people who are still stuck at the start. This is your life, your dream, your blueprint. You will never lead a big life if you keep trying to please small minds. Stop waiting for consensus. Start living your conviction. You wouldn't ask someone who's never painted a thing how to finish a masterpiece. So why are you letting people who've never built anything tell you how to build your dream? They haven't walked in your shoes. They haven't felt your battles.
They don't carry your vision, and yet somehow their opinions are shaping your decisions? That's not wisdom, that's sabotage. Let's get this clear: just because someone has a mouth doesn't mean they have a message for you. Just because someone talks loud doesn't mean they speak truth. Stop letting outside doubt dismantle the greatness inside. The person who doubts your path isn't qualified to guide it. The one who laughs at your idea isn't brave enough to chase their own. You're the artist. This is your brush, your canvas, your creation. You don't need feedback from the ones who only know how to watch, criticize, and compare. Let them talk. You've got work to do. You're not a channel. You're not a show. You're not a subscription people get to renew or cancel based on how comfortable you make them feel. This isn't about monthly approval. This is about permanent identity. If you keep shaping yourself based on feedback, you'll never know who you really are. One month they love you, the next they ghost you. One moment they praise you, the next they doubt you. That's not stability. That's emotional slavery. You weren't made to be liked on demand. You were made to be real consistently, even when it makes others uncomfortable, even when it means standing alone. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of the chase for approval. You're not here to fit their mold. You're here to break it. You don't need their yes to say yes to yourself. You don't need their comfort to feel worthy. You're not for sale, and you're not up for review. This is your life. Stop performing. Start becoming. Some people weren't sent to support. They were sent to slow you down. Not every presence in your life is a blessing. Some are burdens wearing a friendly face. Some are delays disguised as company. They're not always loud. They don't always come to tear you down. Sometimes they come gently, talking like they care, acting like they're loyal, but slowly pulling you off course. Little by little, word by word. You've got to learn to discern the difference between alignment and distraction. Just because they showed up during your rise doesn't mean they were meant to rise with you. Some people show up to applaud, and some show up to hate. Let me be clear. Energy is contagious, and if you keep letting the wrong people sit close, you'll start doubting your right direction. You'll start questioning your moves. Not because you're wrong, but because they're afraid you're right.
You can't carry everyone, and you definitely can't explain your fire to people who fear the heat. Access doesn't equal authority. Reclaim your space. Just because they're near doesn't mean they get a say. Access is not a passcode to your mind. Closeness doesn't equal wisdom. Proximity doesn't equal priority. People will try to speak into your path without walking a mile in your purpose. They'll give opinions, suggestions, and friendly advice, none of it rooted in your vision. And the truth is, you've been too generous with your space, too available, too open to feedback from people who haven't earned the right to speak into your life. It's time to revoke unearned influence. Just because they've known you for years doesn't mean they know where you're going. Just because they were there back then doesn't mean they belong in the now. Draw the boundary. You don't owe everyone a front row seat to your growth. Let them watch from the back if they're meant to watch at all. Your mission, your terms. No one else gets to hold the pen. Not everyone is your mission. Not everyone is meant to stay. Read that again. Not everyone is your mission. Not everyone is meant to stay. You are not here to rescue every person who crosses your path. You are not required to carry what's not yours. You are not the answer to everyone's crisis. Some people will try to latch onto your fire because they lost their own. And if you're not careful, you'll start dimming just to keep them warm. You're not selfish for letting go. You're not heartless for choosing your healing over their chaos. You're wise. You're focused. You're finally seeing clearly. Say it with me. Not everyone is your mission. Not everyone. You're not required to hold up people who refuse to rise. If they won't grow, they can't go. Clarity is knowing who's yours and who's not. And peace is choosing accordingly. You're not a public service. You're a private force. You are not a 24/7 help desk. You are not here to solve every problem, answer every call, or soothe every storm. You are not public property. You are a private force, built for something specific, focused on something powerful. And if you keep letting everyone access your energy, you'll run out before you ever reach the finish line. Let them call you distant. Let them call you different. You're not here to be available. You're here to be effective. Start moving like your purpose is under attack, because it is. Every distraction, every demand, every urgent favor that steals your focus, that's the attack. Your time is limited. Your calling is sacred. Your peace is expensive. So act like it. You're not here to be liked, you're here to leave a mark. You're not here to fit in. You're here to build something that outlives you. Protect your mission, guard your gate. You're not for everyone, and that's the point. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategic wisdom. Silence has been misunderstood. People think if you're quiet, you're scared. If you don't respond, you're defeated. If you don't react, you've lost. But let's be real, silence isn't retreat. Silence is strategy, it's precision, it's power with restraint. There's strength in knowing when not to speak. There's wisdom in observing instead of reacting. Not everything deserves your voice. Not every moment calls for volume. Sometimes the loudest move you can make is no move at all. Silence isn't about backing down. It's about showing up with clarity. Because when you speak less, you make it count. You stop wasting words on people who never wanted truth. You stop throwing pearls at people who only want arguments. Speak when it builds. Speak when it sharpens. Speak when it matters. And when it doesn't, don't. Your silence isn't weakness. It's the wisdom to know your energy deserves better than chaos. Let me hit you with a hard truth. Some people aren't confused. They're committed to misunderstanding. They don't want clarity. They want conflict. They don't want your heart. They want your reaction. So why argue? Why throw your words into a pit of noise hoping for truth to echo back? That's not a dialogue. That's a trap. The more you explain, the more they twist. The more you clarify, the more they question. It's not a conversation. It's a setup. And the goal isn't resolution. It's distraction. You weren't made to fight endless battles just to prove you're right. You weren't made to lower your volume so noise can feel louder. You weren't built for circles. Here's your permission to stop showing up to arguments that are beneath your calling. Let them talk. Let them twist. Let them scream. But you stay silent and keep building. Your life is the loudest response. Silence is a sword. You don't swing it. You become it. Silence isn't passive. It's power in its purest form. It's a sword, but not one you swing wildly. No, it's a sword you become. Controlled, focused, unshaken. Real power doesn't scream. It stands still. It doesn't chase attention. It commands it by presence alone. When you master silence, you stop chasing every challenge. You stop reacting to every noise. People think strength is in the fight, but sometimes the strongest person in the room is the one who didn't flinch, the one who didn't explain, the one who didn't engage in the mess. You want to know what breaks people more than shouting? Stillness. Because when you stop feeding the noise, it dies. When you remove your energy, the fire burns out. So become the sword, not for show, but for precision, not for battle, but for peace. Your silence doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means everything is happening, just not where they can see it. If it costs you peace, it's already too expensive. Here's the line, and don't forget it. If it costs you peace, it's already too expensive. You've spent too much on chaos. You've traded too many quiet nights for noisy arguments. You've sold your focus for cheap drama. It ends now. Peace isn't a luxury. It's your capital. It's where you think straight. It's where you build right. It's where you grow clean. And the moment you give it up to prove a point, win a fight, or satisfy someone else's mess, you lose. You can't afford to keep negotiating with chaos. You can't keep paying emotional tax for someone else's storm. Peace is your job to protect. And the only way to protect it is to make it non-negotiable. Not everything gets your time. Not everyone gets your words. Not every fire deserves your breath. You're not available for disruption. Not anymore. Silence isn't what you fall back on. It's what you rise on. It's not the absence of sound. It's the presence of control. Let your silence speak louder than their noise ever could. You're not here to carry everyone else's comfort. You weren't born to be a cushion for everyone else's comfort. You weren't built to bend so others could stretch. Somewhere along the way, you confused kindness with self-abandonment. You started saying yes just to keep the peace, just to be liked, just to avoid the tension. But let's be honest, how's that working for you?
How many times have you said yes when your gut was screaming no? How many times have you carried someone else's weight, even when you were barely holding your own? You are not a safety net. You are not a backup plan. You are not a fixer, a filler, or a forever available option. You were built to rise, to build, to lead. And that mission doesn't require you to carry what was never yours in the first place. Stop setting yourself on fire just to keep other people warm. Your purpose is not to protect everyone else's comfort. Your purpose is to walk boldly in your own. Some of your exhaustion comes from saying yes to the wrong things. You keep wondering why you're tired, why you feel stretched, drained, even defeated. But it's not just the workload, it's the weight of all the wrong yeses. Every time you said yes to what didn't serve you, you said no to yourself. Every time you agreed out of guilt or fear, you took another step away from your peace. That's not kindness. That's self-betrayal. You gave time to what didn't grow you. You gave energy to what didn't value you. You gave access to people who only took. Now you feel empty, not because you have nothing left, but because you gave it all for things that never filled you back up. It's time to pay attention to where your yes goes, because your yes is expensive. And if you keep handing it out for free, you'll end up broke in ways no one sees. No is protection. No is power. No is peace. Let this sink in. No is not negative. It's necessary. No is a shield. It's a line. It's a door that doesn't open just because someone knocks. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you say yes to something that builds you. No to overextending means yes to healing. No to people pleasing means yes to power. No to distractions means yes to direction. Stop apologizing for protecting yourself. Stop feeling guilty for choosing peace. No isn't rude. No isn't selfish. No is grown. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to dress it up with reasons. You don't need to soften it to make others feel better. No is the sentence. Period. Full stop. Say it clear. Say it with strength. And move on. You quote these. Being loud in the wrong rooms. Go quiet where you're not heard. You've been talking too much in rooms that weren't built to hear you. You've been explaining, justifying, proving, hoping someone would finally get it, but they won't, because they weren't supposed to. Some spaces were never meant to see you. Some people were never meant to understand you, and your loudest mistake was thinking your voice could fix that. You don't have to keep explaining. You don't have to keep showing up. You don't have to keep staying where your voice is dismissed and your presence is taken for granted. Go quiet, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Walk out of those rooms with your head high and your peace intact. Let your silence say what your words couldn't. It's time to stop shouting in places that only echo back out. Time to stop performing for an audience that never had the capacity to see you. Exit quietly, exit powerfully, and don't look back. Because every step away from what didn't value you is a step closer to what will. You've outgrown it. You need to explain your boundaries. There comes a time when you stop defending your decisions. You stop explaining. You stop breaking down your boundaries like a sales pitch to people who were never going to buy in anyway. That time is now. Your boundaries are not barriers. They're not built out of bitterness. They're built out of clarity. You've seen what happens when you give too much, then too far. Say yes too often. Now you're choosing differently, not to keep people out, but to keep your peace in. You're not rude, you're not distant, you're not cold, you're clear, and clarity doesn't need a permission slip.
You don't have to justify where your line is. You just have to honor it. Some people will call it selfish. Some will call it dramatic. That's fine. Let them talk. Let them guess. You've outgrown the need to explain what protects your peace. Your peace is the explanation. You're not selfish, you're strategic. Let's break this down once and for all. Saying no to them isn't betrayal. Saying yes to yourself isn't wrong. Choosing you isn't selfish, it's survival. You've been conditioned to feel guilty for honoring your needs, to flinch when you speak up, to explain when you walk away. That guilt doesn't belong to you anymore. You're not being difficult. You're being deliberate. You're not acting brand new. You've simply stopped allowing the old version of you to run the show. This new standard, it's not built on anger, it's built on awareness. You finally understand what drains you, what feeds you, what stretches you, and what breaks you. And now that you know, you act on it. That's not ego, that's evolution. You're not here to carry everyone. You're here to carry out your mission. And that starts with protecting the vessel. You're the gate. You control what gets in and what gets out. You are the gate, the filter, the checkpoint. You control who and what gets in and what gets out. Start guarding your greatness like it's gold, because it is. You wouldn't let strangers walk into your home and rearrange your furniture, so why let them walk into your life and rearrange your focus with peace? Some people don't deserve access, not because they're bad people, but because they're not good for you. They bring noise, they bring confusion, they bring chaos disguised as connection. You're not required to be open to everyone. You're allowed to be selective. In fact, you must be. Your energy is sacred. Your time is rare. Your purpose is real. So stop handing out access like it's free. You're not a revolving door. You're a guarded gate. And only what aligns with your peace, your purpose, and your growth should pass through. Preserve your space. Protect your peace. Prioritize your path. Let them misunderstand you. Let them whisper about your change. Let them feel uncomfortable when you stop showing up the way you used to. That's not your problem to fix. That's their illusion to face. You've got work to do. You've got a path to walk. You've got a version of yourself you haven't even met yet. But she's waiting, and she doesn't show up in places where your peace gets trampled. Preserve your space. Clean it. Clear it. Keep it sacred. Don't let noise take root where peace should grow. Protect your peace like your future depends on it, because it does. Stop being available for stress. Stop negotiating with pressure. You weren't made to live in tension. You were made to lead with power. Prioritize your path, not theirs. Not the one they prefer. Not the one they feel more comfortable with. Yours. The one that speaks to your soul. The one that pulls you forward. This is the new standard. No more bending for comfort. No more breaking for approval. No more blending in to belong. You don't owe explanations. You owe yourself elevation. And that starts now. Let's get practical. Take a look around. Not just with your eyes, but with your energy. Who leaves you feeling lighter after you talk to them? And who drains you the moment they show up? It's time to audit your circle. Not just by title, but by truth. Not everyone around you is for you. Some people are only around because you make them feel important, not because they believe in your purpose. You need to separate energy deposits from emotional debts. Who actually pours into you? Who supports your vision without needing a spotlight? And who only claps when they're in control? Start writing it down. Names, patterns, moments. Who fuels you and who fools you? This isn't about bitterness, it's about clarity. Because clarity sets standards. And once you're clear, you can stop entertaining confusion. Some praise you to use you. Others correct you to build you. Not all compliments are clean. Some people praise you to keep you close. Not to lift you up, but to keep you useful. You've got to learn the difference between flattery and foundation. Real allies don't just hype you up. They call you up. They correct you when you slip. They hold you accountable. They want you stronger, not just sweeter. Meanwhile, the ones who flatter you endlessly, they disappear the moment you set a boundary. They vanish when you're not convenient. They liked you better when you were quieter, softer, easier to manage. Watch for the patterns. Who's still there when you grow louder, bolder, more focused? Who cheers when you evolve? And who grows distant when you rise? Not everyone who praises you is a friend. Sometimes they're just using your shine to warm their cold. Here's the hard question. If that person disappeared tomorrow, no call, no text, no presence, would you feel relief or regret? Be honest. Don't justify. Don't sugarcoat. Your body knows. Your peace knows. There are people in your life who create more tension than support. People who keep you emotionally exhausted, spiritually foggy, mentally cluttered. But because they've been around, because they hold a title, because they've been through a lot with you, you hold on. But holding on isn't always strength. Sometimes it's fear. Are they aligned with where you're going, or just attached to where you used to be? Are they growing with you, or are they growing resentful of your growth? Ask the question, sit with the answer, then move accordingly. Audit your circle, reclaim your time, reclaim your space. This is your call to action. Enough thinking. Enough waiting. It's time to cut the cords and tighten the access. You've got places to go and not everyone is meant to come with you. Your next level doesn't need a crowded room. It needs clarity, focus, clean energy. Audit your circle. Who's really for you? Who's helping you sharpen? Who's draining you quietly? Reclaim your time. You've wasted too many hours explaining yourself to the wrong people. Reclaim your space. Too many distractions have walked through open doors you forgot to lock. From this moment on, make space a standard. Make peace a non-negotiable. Make your presence earned, not assumed. Your energy is gold. Protect it like it is. You were never meant to be understood by the mediocre. If you keep trying to be understood by everyone, you'll shrink into something unrecognizable. The truth is, you were never meant to be understood by the mediocre. Your ideas, your drive, your fire, it's not supposed to make sense to those who settle. You speak vision, they speak limits. You talk movement, they talk maintenance. You're walking into unknown territory, and they're clinging to what's familiar. That gap, that disconnect, that's not rejection. It's proof you're rising. Greatness doesn't come with an instruction manual. It's not comfortable. It's not digestible. It doesn't play by familiar rules. So of course they don't get it. Of course they question it. That's not your cue to stop. It's your sign to zoom in. Let them stay confused. Let them call it too much, too fast, too different. You weren't built for their comfort. You were built to disrupt. Keep your focus. Keep your fire. They're not supposed to get it. You are God. You quote read the storm. You don't explain thunder. You are thunder. You are not here to convince. You are not here to explain. You are the storm. And storms don't ask for permission to shake the ground. They just do. You don't explain thunder. You are thunder. That power in you, it wasn't given to be justified. It was given to be released. And when it moves, it doesn't apologize for the impact. It just leaves change behind. Power doesn't beg to be understood. It doesn't tone itself down. It doesn't send out warnings. It shows up. It hits. It leaves things different. You've spent too long dimming what was meant to shake things up. Too long making your voice smaller so others could feel taller. No more. You are not a ripple. You are not background noise. You are the shift. You are the force. Own it. Don't explain it. Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Stop proving. Just move. Here's the call. Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Stop proving. Just move. Every time you stop to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, you lose time. Every time you justify your path to people who've never built anything, you lose ground. You are not here to perform. You are not here to please. You are not here to prove that your dream is valid. You know what validates it? Doing it. You know what validates it? Doing it. You know what proves it? Becoming it. You don't need to convince anyone of your direction. You just need to start walking in it. Let your life be the answer. Let your actions be the message. Stop stalling in the name of being understood. You weren't made for explanation. You were made for execution. Move. Boldly. Silently. Unapologetically. You don't need agreement. You need alignment. And that starts with you. You don't need a committee. You don't need a crowd. You don't need everyone to clap before you rise. Agreement is optional. Alignment is essential. And alignment doesn't start with applause. It starts with you. Are you in alignment with your mission? Are your words matching your walk? Are your days shaped by your values or by someone else's voice? You've waited long enough for green lights from people who were never going where you're going. You've asked for directions from the distracted. You've delayed your calling, hoping someone would finally approve of it. It ends here. The only alignment that matters is internal. When your mind, heart, and actions lock into purpose, nothing can stop you. You don't need the world to get it. You need to get it. You don't need them to walk with you. You just need to walk. Protect your fire. Guard your gate. Walk your mission. No more explaining. No more proving. Just becoming.